Welcome to Subramani. I have done many such videos of saying what did the real rich people do, which others didn't do, and because of which they got rich or wealthy. I'm using the word interchangeably here because they've all got wealthy because they have been able to use their money very sensibly. So, one thing undeniably, they all hit high salaries at a young age. So which means they could have started their compounding at the age of 25 26 instead of 32 33. Maybe because my sample is very biased. I know most of these people are connected to the financial services. They lived in places like Ghatkopar where I grew up. So all these people I knew invested in equity, or they did something like investing in equity, investing in real estate, flipping assets, or those things. But some of these common traits are, yes, they all started early. Another important thing was none of them perhaps had to support our parents. I mean, most of us did well simply because there was no reverse cash flow. We did not have to support our parents. In fact, my father did not have to support his parents. So, therefore, there was money available there. Did we use that? Did we use that as a safety net? Yes, of course, it was a safety net, which meant for many people of that age, of say 60 years and reaching 25-30 crores kind of net worth. Am I saying is it big or small? No, I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying it is sufficient for them to retire and retire comfortably, although many of them keep asking whether they have enough money to retire. So they didn't have to pay up, and they didn't have to worry about in case something goes wrong with their investments, what will happen. In fact, it did go wrong for a couple of people in real estate or in some wrong job kind of thing, but that didn't matter. They could always they knew that the parental portfolio was available. However, the availability was not very big, like it may have been say 1 crore. But the question is, it became a safety net, and therefore these people could take more risk and they could make more money. So yes, they took more risk and it paid off. In equity it paid off. In some other places it may not have paid off, but mostly the people I know took risk in equity. Equity risk means they started investing and started investing well, investing smartly, got lucky. They got ESOPs, they bought some shares at a startup stage and that made money, right? So that could be anything, any of these jobs, and many of them were in software. So software, banking, all of them. So if you were at the startup stage in say 1991, 92 in Infosys, or 93, 94 in HDFC Bank, any of these places you got ESOP, the fact that you held on to the ESOP, or maybe 1985, 87 in HDFC Limited, and you held on to all those ESOPs, you just made a disproportionately large money compared to your brother, sister, spouse, etc., who did not get ESOP. So yes, that was another big thing. One more thing which these people could do was delay gratification. Please understand the difference. So if somebody who is today 60 years of age or 58 years of age looks at his portfolio, he or she should realize that 10 lakhs which they could have removed when they were 32 years of age to go for a vacation is now visible here as a 30 lakh or a 35, 40 lakh amount lying in their portfolio. So the portfolio is all those things that they did not do. Right. So removing money today of 30 lakhs for these people is a breeze. But this happened because of the delayed gratification. At 32, if they had removed 10 lakhs, they would be 30, 40 lakhs short today. Today, removing 30 lakhs. So it's very important that when you delay gratification, you understand the advantage that the later that you withdraw, the greater the amount you can withdraw, and far more peacefully. So for many of these people today, taking out 50 lakhs to buy something, or taking out 50 lakhs to go for a family vacation, 4-5 of them, does not look very difficult because they delayed gratification. Now I am not saying everybody can delay all gratification. For example, at 60, it's too late to think of climbing the Everest. That if you want to do, you should do it when you're 27, 28, maybe 35. Beyond that it is a cutoff. Everest Base Camp maybe 50, 55. Hemkund Sahib, Flower Valley maybe 60, 61, 62. Yes, there are 70-year-olds who do it, there are maybe 75-year-olds who do it, but I am talking of the rule, not the exception, right? So some of these things you should do when you are younger, but visiting Singapore or visiting any of these some of the other places, you can do it at 80 sitting on a wheelchair. So you have to prioritize, but largely I'm saying delayed gratification is something which they did. Many of them, most of them, I would think, would just pick one mutual fund or some shares and just stick on with it for a long time. 10 years, 20 years later, 25 years later, you meet somebody and say, Subra, you remember you said that Tata Power I am still holding, or that Franklin India Blue Chip I am still holding. These shares would have gone through hell, right? Tata Power, he must have bought it at 100 or 150, it may have gone to 300. 325, then dropped down to 30, now it is back to 290. It has not impacted him or her at all. They just bought because once upon a time, long ago in 2001 or 2002, I said it is a good dividend yield, 7% dividend yield in this share is worth buying. They just did not think about what they are doing. Have they got great returns? No. But the fact that they have sat on something like a Franklin India Blue Chip or a HDFC Top 100, just because the funds did well, they have done well. Their ESOPs did well. So basically it is an ESOP story, and these are the embellishments on that. This is not the main story. Main story is the ESOP story, right? So then I also see them doing a lot of charity, and I also see some of them being able to sell off their ESOP and convert that into business opportunities for themselves, for their siblings, for their children now. Saying, okay, what is the use in having 25 crores worth of ESOP if I am not going to use it for something, for my son to start a business or my daughter to start a business. So some of that is happening. A lot of charity is happening, people paying the school fees and college fees of their children or people around them. I also know of a friend who sponsored his nephew's education abroad. Of course, charity begins at home, but that's not necessary that everybody would be that charitable, saying, okay, it is costing you 80 lakhs, your dad can't afford it, but I will give you the money, right? Don't borrow from the bank. So giving somebody that kind of money, because the father may not have been able to borrow that also from the bank, unless you have a house worth couple of crores and you have borrowed from somebody else and you have repaid the loan and you have a track record, then you will be able to borrow. It's not easy getting an educational loan, right? So some of these things, so these are some of the characteristics that I have seen in people. And of course, husband and wife being compatible about wealth creation, right? If suppose the wife is a big spender and the husband doesn't want to spend, then there could be fights and there's no happy wealth creation. There could be wealth creation and the wife would say, what is the use of having all this? We didn't even take a vacation. We didn't even spend on jewelry. Or the reverse, the wife wants to save and invest and grow, and the husband says, no, what is the use? You live only once, so we should spend it. So compatibility between spouse and between the spouses is important. Compatibility that your parents don't make a big hole in their portfolios or in their lifestyle, because of which you have to sell your equity or at a completely wrong time, right? So some of these things help. So none of them had any such emergencies or things like that. So I just thought these are some of the characteristics. It's not everything which was within their control, but it meant that all these people, by the time they are 55, 60, sorry, have reached net worths of 25, 30 crores, somebody maybe even 50, 55 crores, right? Did they plan to do it that way? No, none of them planned to do it that way. All of them would have been very happy if they were told in 1980s saying, I will give you 2 crores and a job for life and a car and driver and a house. They would have happily taken it. They had no clue that they would reach 25 crores. But yeah, these are some of the characteristics which I can see among them, because of which they reached this 25 crores. Thank you.